I think that's what my job is. If it doesn't go the way we want it to go, that's a time when everybody needs to pitch in. But I don't think it will be a big factor. The reason being, what I always tell the boys is, you have to see what kind of cricket you are playing. What's the mistake that you have committed in the game, rather than thinking as to we only scored 80 runs or 90 runs. What's important is how to turn around and how to come back strong. And I feel this team has done it plenty of times. Right from the last World Cup that we played, it's something that the team has shown. This character of coming back after you can say a bad defeat. But that's what it is all about. So I don't think I'll have to work too hard. I think the dismissals, our batsmen, there are quite a few soft dismissals, and if you see the way, there was no partnership at all. What's needed is when you're scoring 120 or 125 runs, chasing. We all knew the wicket was slightly on the slower side, but the good thing is we still restricted them to a good score. I think 140 would have been a par score on a wicket like this. So I feel the bowlers did a good job by restricting them to 126. I felt it was a batting department, which could have done slightly more. We kept. I think every alternate over we lost one wicket, and it becomes more and more difficult. Once the top order gets out, the batsman who comes in, let's talk about the 5, 6 or 7, they have that pressure of one extra wicket falling. So it seems as if cricket becomes very difficult. But what's important is at that time to get some kind of a partnership going, even if it's not big when it comes to the number of runs scored, but it just gives that calmness to the dressing room and the batsman who's coming afterwards. So I feel it was to some extent lack of application. Few good deliveries, but it was more, I think, the soft dismissals than the good deliveries. But I thought they bowled well, but I'm not saying they bowled or our spinners didn't bowl well, because bulk of bowling was also done by the spinners from our side. No, if you see on a turning wicket, it's a challenge, and when I was playing Test cricket, a lot of times people used to question turning wickets, and I always said it is actually more difficult to score runs on turning wicket compared to the seaming track, because at some point of time the seaming track actually becomes flat before it starts to turn. So I feel this is also a challenge in itself. And I feel it's as sporting as some of the other wickets. It's just that often people talk about spinning wicket as not sporting wicket. It's only the seaming wicket that are sporting. Maybe what hits in the head is only a sporting wicket. But to pinpoint a reason, it can happen. We have seen. Though we have won a lot of test matches, but there were quite a few good innings that were scored. Two batsmen really scoring big, because of which the opposition were put under pressure. So you have to, the error part, you can commit an error and you can get out very soon on a turning wicket. So you have to be careful, you have to adapt. But I felt, this day was more about adaptability than, looking to hit big. Well, again, if you see, we didn't bowl a single over. What also you have to see is what kind of a batsman is batting. Like if you compare the two innings, when we had overs of the left arm spin, there were two left-handers who were batting at that point of time. So that makes it slightly difficult for the captain. You want to use the away-going spinner, and I feel with Hardik being there, if the need arises of if you need a seamer, you can obviously use him. If you need a spinner, you already have somebody like a Suresh Raina or a Yuvraj Singh, and we didn't bowl a single over because I felt he was not needed, or maybe the situation didn't permit me to use him with two left-handers batting at that point of time. In fact, there was a situation in the middle where I said maybe I won't use Jadeja's 2 over also, because with Anderson batting with the other left-hander, he was looking for the big shots. I said maybe fast bowler is the better option at that point of time. वेल डेफिनेटली अच्छा रहेगा, क्योंकि मैंने हमेशा से ये बात बोली है कि किसी भी चीज़ को फॉर ग्रांटेड लेना काफ़ी डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता है, एंड इट्स गुड फॉर एवरीबडी. इट्स गुड फॉर द फैंस, इट्स गुड फॉर द इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम, क्योंकि हम भी रियलाइज़ करेंगे कि हमें किस तरीके से बैटिंग करनी होगी, क्योंकि विकेट्स हर जगह डिफरेंट होंगे. अभी हम कोलकाता जाएंगे तो वहाँ का विकेट थोड़ा डिफरेंट होगा, उसके बाद जहाँ पे खेलेंगे वहाँ का विकेट. सो यू हैव टू असेस, यू हैव टू अडैप्ट, एंड हाउ क्विकली यू रीड द विकेट, वही सारी चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएंगे. सो आई फील इट्स अ गुड वन फॉर अस. होपफुली जितना मार्जिन ऑफ डिफीट जितना छोटा होता उतना हमारे लिए अच्छा होता, क्योंकि आई थिंक एक T20 वर्ल्ड कप में ऐसा हुआ था कि हम एक मैच हारे थे और टूर्नामेंट में आगे क्वालिफाई नहीं किए थे. सो आई फील इम्पॉर्टेंट रहेगा कि आने वाले मैच जो हम खेलेंगे उसमें जीतना तो आपको ज़रूरी है, बट किस तरीके और किस मार्जिन से हम जीत रहे हैं वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस रखेगा.